Heartwarming transformation, how one intern exposed the billionaire's hidden love after 3 years. Emma stepped off the bus, her heart pounding with both excitement and fear, as she took in the grand skyline of San Francisco. The massive skyscrapers loomed like giants above her, symbols of success that felt so far removed from her small farming town in Ohio. With nothing but a suitcase full of hope and a fierce determination, she hugged her worn-out bag closer, knowing this city would challenge everything she knew about hard work and perseverance. The pristine lobby of Innovatech was a whirlwind of sleek glass and buzzing energy. Here she was, a fresh intern among sharply dressed executives shuffling papers and barking orders as if the world depended on it. Each time she served coffee or filed documents, she felt the glaring disconnect between her humble upbringing and the opulence surrounding her. But Emma was fueled by grit, a belief that she could conquer this daunting new world. But the enigmatic CEO, Nathan Carter, was a mystery cloaked in wealth. Rumors fluttered through the office like whispered secrets about a man who cared little for anything outside his corporate empire. Emma's gut tightened as dread washed over her. How could someone so important relate to families like hers, those struggling to make ends meet? Yet, the longer she spent in the office, the more she sensed there was more to him than the icy exterior he projected. One fateful afternoon, tangled in stress and pressure, Emma bumped into Nathan in the hallway. Startled, she caught a glimpse of a softer side. His eyes betrayed a flicker of kindness. What began as small talk blossomed into longer conversations, revealing his devotion to a secret charitable foundation aimed at helping underprivileged kids. "I was once one of them," he'd said, a hint of vulnerability breaking through. It felt as though a bond began to form between them, but the whispers around her intensified, filled with disdain for her growing friendship with the billionaire. Emma grappled with the isolation that compounded each day, facing the cold reality of Innovatech's cutthroat culture. Yet, resolve ignited within her as whispers turned into laughter at her efforts to connect with Nathan. She imagined the families back home, weathering storms of desperation, and her heart ached for them. Then came the crisis. A devastating fire tore through a low-income neighborhood nearby, engulfing homes and lives in a blazing inferno. Emma's chest tightened, racing thoughts echoing through her mind. How could she stay silent? This crisis demanded action, yet the rising pressure of her internship loomed over her like a dark cloud. The cutthroat atmosphere tightened its grip, and soon her skeptical team-led issued an ultimatum. "Stay away from Nathan," she warned, eyes narrowed. "Or risk everything. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Standing at that crossroads, Emma's heart ached as her dreams clashed with her values. Should she abandon the fight for the families she wanted to uplift? Or could she find a way to inspire change in a place so entrenched in protecting wealth? She was ready to rally the other interns, to spark compassion amidst the chaos, even if it meant risking everything. As the meeting approached, Emma felt the tension in the air like an impending storm. Determination surged through her. Could love triumph in a world obsessed with profits? The fate of her community and her heart hung precariously in the balance as she braced herself for the battle of her life. Would Nathan stand beside her as they dared to challenge a system stacked against hope? The answer danced on the edge of her thoughts, leaving her breathless and yearning for more. Emma stood outside the meeting room, trying to calm the whirlwind of emotions inside her. The sleek, glass doors reflected her tension, and she barely recognized the woman staring back, determined yet vulnerable. The voices from within were louder now, a mix of corporate jargon and nervous laughter. Each sound echoed her doubts, but she clenched her fists, focusing on the deeper purpose that had brought her to this moment. As she walked in, the fluorescent lights hummed above, illuminating faces that varied from skeptical to dismissive. Nathan sat at the head of the table, lips pressed into a thin line as he greeted the room with an air of authority. His presence was magnetic, but Emma could see the shadows in his eyes, a sign of the battles he fought both personally and as a leader. This was not just about her destiny, it was about every family in that devastated neighborhood. With a deep breath, she stepped forward. "Thank you for gathering here," she began, projecting her voice despite the tremors within. "We all know about the fire that tore through the community last week. It's not just another statistic, those are real people who need our help." Murmurs rippled through the room, some colleagues shifting uncomfortably in their seats. "What do you propose, Emma?" Nathan asked, his tone steady yet inviting. The intensity of his gaze made her heart race, but it also gave her strength. "I want us to launch an initiative, a fundraising drive," she continued, urgency intermingling with hope. "Every little bit can help rebuild lives. If we lead by example, our employees, partners, and even our competitors could join in. We can inspire others to contribute, to care." The room fell silent for a moment, eyes darting among each other, weighing the possibility. Emma caught Nathan's gaze and momentarily lost her breath. There was something in his expression that sparked a flicker of understanding, a silent agreement, as if he too could see the need for change. Then it came. Tessa, her team lead, scoffed. "You really think a bake sale is going to make a difference? This isn't a charity, it's a corporation." Emma squared her shoulders, feeling the weight of the world but unwilling to back down. "But it can make a difference. Losing hope is losing everything. We have the resources, let us use them for more than just profits." Laughter erupted, but Emma didn't flinch. She pressed on, still feeling Nathan's eyes on her, still feeling that electrifying connection. "I believe we can honor our values and help others. Think of the good we could do together." The seconds felt like hours as the meeting danced on the brink of indecision. But just as despair threatened to crush her spirit, Nathan spoke up. "Let us hear her out," he said firmly. "If we can't support those in need, what are we really doing here?" Emma's heart leapt. She could see the shift in the room and with it, the potential for something bigger than herself. As discussions began to flow, ideas transformed into plans, and Emma felt hope building alongside her nervous energy. She shared her visions of community events, partnerships with local businesses, and ways to directly engage Innovatech's employees to rally around the cause. In those moments, she caught glimpses of Nathan jotting notes, nodding, and occasionally adding his insights. This man, behind his corporate armor, was not just a figurehead, he genuinely cared. And as the meeting pulled together, her words weaving through the air, resonating deep, Emma realized she was not alone in this fight. But as the meeting concluded, a sense of unease crept back in. Tessa's disapproval loomed large, and the divisions within the team threatened to burst forth. Emma sensed hurdles ahead, ones that could jeopardize everything they had started to build. Driven by passion, she was ready to raise her voice, but could she navigate the treacherous waters of Innovatech and truly make a difference? A knot tightened in her stomach. The struggle for justice was just beginning, and Emma was prepared to face it head-on. Would Nathan hold steadfast beside her when the storm truly hit? Or would the weight of his corporate world pull him back into the shadows? As she stepped out of that room, Emma felt a renewed sense of purpose, a fire burning bright. But in the distance, dark clouds loomed, and she couldn't shake the feeling that the hardest battles were yet to come. Emma left the meeting, her heart still racing. The hallway felt narrow, squeezing her between the walls of self-doubt and determination. As she walked, she fought to keep the hope alive, but the echoes of Tessa's laughter haunted her. The stark contrast between her vision and the skepticism around her weighed heavily on her shoulders. "Emma!" Nathan's voice called. She turned to see him quickly approaching, his face calm yet concerned. "Can we talk for a moment?" "Sure," she replied, forcing a smile, unsure if she should feel relieved or more anxious. They stepped into a quieter corner, away from prying ears. Nathan leaned against the wall, arms crossed, a hint of hesitation in his posture. "What you proposed today, it was brave. It struck a chord, but you know there are real challenges ahead." "I know." Emma felt a stubborn spark ignite again. "But we can't let fear dictate our actions. We've got a chance to do something meaningful." He studied her, a mix of admiration and concern in his eyes. "I get that. But there are people in this company who want to support it. Tessa is influential, and she's not going to let this go easily." Emma took a deep breath. "I won't back down. If we want to make a difference, we need to show them that it matters. It's not just about numbers on a spreadsheet, it's about lives." Nathan's expression softened. "You remind me why I started this company in the first place. Sometimes, that gets lost in the daily grind. I want to support you, but we need to have a solid plan to counter Tessa's pushback." Her heart soared at his words. Maybe they could turn the tide together. "What do you suggest?" she asked, excitement brewing. "Let us organize a presentation for the higher-ups," he suggested. "We can highlight the benefits of community engagement and how it can enhance our brand while doing good. If we can get several executives on board, it will be harder for Tessa to dismiss us." Emma's mind raced with possibilities. "That's a great start. We could gather data about successful corporate initiatives elsewhere, testimonials from employees who want to help. Yes. And we can showcase how participation can improve morale, maybe even creatively involve the team. Team-building activities that benefit the community. It addresses the concerns while emphasizing our values," Nathan added, his energy palpable. A surge of hope washed over Emma. Maybe, just maybe, she wasn't fighting this battle alone. Let us make it happen. But the air around them shifted as footsteps echoed from the hallway. Tessa approached, flanked by a couple of her loyal team members. Emma felt her stomach tighten. The expression on Tessa's face told Emma that the storm was coming faster than she anticipated. Well, Tessa started, a smirk creeping onto her face. "I hope you're not planning something absurd. I would hate to see you embarrassed in front of everyone." Nathan straightened, stepping slightly in front of Emma, his demeanor abruptly shifting to one of authority. "Tessa, we're discussing a potential initiative that benefits the community. It's important. I think you should be part of the conversation, instead of assuming the worst." "Oh, please, Nathan," she replied, crossing her arms. "Do we really want to dilute our brand with bake sales? Don't you think our investors are a little too interested in profits to care about neighborhood feel-good stories?" Emma clenched her fists, fighting the urge to yell. "It's not just a bake sale. It's about rebuilding lives. If we don't care, then what's the point of being in business? What kind of company do we want to be?" A tense silence hung in the air, as if the walls themselves held their breath. Tessa's eyes narrowed, weighing Emma's challenge with scrutiny. Only then did Nathan turn to Emma, a mixture of determination and admiration in his gaze. "Maybe it's time we make them care. What do you think?" Emma felt the weight of everything on her shoulders. Could they really change minds? Would they become allies in the face of opposition? With newfound conviction, she stood taller. "Yes, let us show them what our company is really capable of." But deep down, fear gnawed at the edges of her resolve. What lengths would Tessa go to protect her interests? As Emma faced the thinning line between courage and doubt, one question lingered: would they be ready when the storm finally broke? Emma's pulse quickened as Tessa's gaze bore into her, a calculated glint in her eye that made Emma want to shrink away. Nathan's protective stance did little to assuage the tightening knot in her stomach. The stakes had just risen. "Here's the deal," Tessa said, her tone icy and sharp. "I suggest you check yourself before you get in over your head. Maybe focus on the tasks at hand instead of chasing fanciful dreams." Nathan's jaw tightened. "This isn't just a dream, Tessa. This is about the company's future. Oh, spare me the lecture on vision, Nathan, she shot back, punctuating her words with a dismissive wave. The confidence in her voice felt like a slap. Emma wasn't accustomed to this kind of hostility in the workplace but found herself standing firm, even though her heart raced. Tessa leaned closer, lowering her voice. Emma, you might want to consider the fact that these heroic plans you have could easily turn into a career graveyard. And who do you think they'll blame if it fails? Emma's resolve wavered slightly. What if she was making a huge mistake? What if Tessa was right? The doubt crept in like a thief, whispering that change might be more dangerous than she wanted to admit. But Nathan shook his head decisively. We're not backing down. We believe in this. He turned to Emma, his eyes lighting with an unspoken harmony between them, a promise that they were in this together. With renewed strength, Emma nodded. We'll demonstrate that caring for the community isn't just good ethics, it's smart business. People notice when a company invests in real change, and it makes us all look good. Customers want to be part of something meaningful, not just a profit machine. Tessa huffed in amusement, readying herself for a rebuttal, but a lingering uncertainty flickered across her face for just a moment. The confidence of Emma and Nathan had caught her off guard, at least momentarily. Before Emma could relish that victory, more footsteps echoed in the hall. Heads began poking out of doorways, caught in the gravitational pull of the unfolding drama. It was clear that their discussion was becoming the talk of the office, and Emma's heart thumped louder in her chest. She felt the weight of those curious eyes on her, and the stakes grew higher. What are you all standing around for? Tessa snapped, regaining her composure. This isn't a show. Get back to work. But there was something about the energy in the air. Without warning, a few members of Emma's team stepped forward, hesitating only for a moment before joining her. I believe in this, too, one said. What we're doing can inspire a lot of change. Another chimed in, confidence glowing on her face. We need to prioritize people over profits. It's time to fight for this. Emma's heart soared at this unexpected show of support. She glanced at Nathan, whose surprised smile mirrored her own sense of disbelief. Then Tessa's laughter cut through the camaraderie like a blade. This is cute. You think gathering around to chant some feel-good slogan is going to change anything? You'll only look foolish. But Emma's resolve began solidifying like concrete. You're wrong, Tessa. It's not just chanting. This is real. We can make things happen, and people want to be part of that positive change. The atmosphere shifted with her words, electric with determination. As Tessa's expression darkened, Emma realized that this fight was about more than just an initiative. It was about her refusal to let others dictate her worth or dreams. But a lingering question tugged at her heart. How long would Tessa tolerate this rebellion? What would she do next? Emma felt a chilling wind of uncertainty, knowing that the storm was just gathering momentum. They were on the precipice of something big, but would their bravery hold? The atmosphere in the office pulsated with an unusual tension. Emma stood with her team, the energy in the room shifting as if waves were lapping at the shore, each moment bringing them closer to something significant. But Tessa's sneering voice hung over them like a dark cloud, dampening the bright spark of support they had uncovered. I'm serious, Tessa said, her tone sharp enough to slice through the camaraderie. You'll regret this. No one wants to work with idealists who can't deliver. You think you're doing good, but I promise you this path leads to nowhere. But in that moment, Emma felt a sudden surge of defiance. Maybe you're the one who doesn't see it, she shot back, her voice steadier than she felt. People are looking for connection. They want to know their work matters. We can be the company that makes that happen. The murmurs of agreement rippled through the small group assembled around them. Each nod, every confident look, filled Emma with a warmth that she had never anticipated. Was it possible? Could they really create that version of the company together? Nathan leaned forward, looking like a torchbearer in the dim light of doubt. We believe in each other. We aren't just chasing after numbers. This is about real people and fostering real change. A statement that resonated with the heartbeats of everyone present. And as the energy shifted, Emma couldn't help but look back at her team. This wasn't just her fight anymore, it was theirs as well, woven deeply into the fabric of what they wanted to achieve together. But Tessa's scowl deepened, her contempt palpable. "I can't believe you idiots are falling for this," she spat. "You think t-shirts and motivational speeches will turn the tide of corporate culture? That's naive." Emma felt a stab of doubt, but she fought against it. "Isn't it worth trying? What we're suggesting isn't just about slogans. It's about finding our purpose and ethics as a business. That's what gets people to stay committed." A heavy silence filled the room, and Emma felt her heart pounding against her chest. She caught glimpses of people exchanging thoughtful looks, the conversation buzzing in hushed tones like a swarm of bees, growing more intense. Tessa took a step back, clearly outnumbered, but her gaze was resolute. "Enjoy your little rebellion. But remember I warned you. This won't end well." She tossed her hair back dramatically, turning on her heel and strutting away, her footsteps echoing ominously down the hall. A flooded sensation of relief washed over Emma as the tension broke, laughter bubbling among her team. But the victory was tinged with uncertainty. Nathan took her by the shoulder, squeezing it lightly. "You did great today. I believe in this more than ever." Emma met his eyes, feeling a fiery connection that tethered them together in this fight. "We really can make a difference, can't we?" "It's just the beginning," he replied, a smile creeping onto his face. As they basked in the moment and began discussing ideas more fervently, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that Tessa was planning her next move. She had come to see Tessa not just as an opponent, but as a looming storm cloud that could rain uncertainty on their ambitions at any moment. What would Tessa do next? Emma had little doubt that the battle was far from over. The question hung in the air: could they withstand whatever Tessa threw at them, or would the storm break them apart? In the midst of their shared hope, Emma felt a small chill. Change was never easy, and the winds of resistance were starting to swirl once more. As plans began to form, Emma realized the fight was escalating faster than she had ever imagined. What was their next move? And who would ultimately prevail in this corporate struggle? A week passed, and the office felt like a battleground, each day a test of wills. Emma and her team worked tirelessly to refine their vision, discussions flowing like a river that refused to be dammed. Every gathering was filled with hope, laughter, and an undeniable hunger for change. But the specter of Tessa loomed larger with each passing moment. "Listen, we need to present a united front," Emma urged one morning, her voice rising above the coffee machine's whir. The team huddled around the conference table, notebooks open, pens poised. "We've got to show them that our vision isn't just some fluffy idea. It's the real deal." Nathan nodded, firing up the group with words of encouragement. "Exactly. Let us brainstorm how we can showcase the impact we want to make. We need stats, stories, something that shakes them to their core." As they brainstormed, a nervous energy crackled. Emma stood and pitched an idea: what if we create a video series highlighting employees' stories? Real people, real experiences. Let us change the narrative from the top down. Great idea. Someone chimed in, and soon the room buzzed with enthusiasm. Ideas sparked and fanned, each one a new flame that warmed the heart of their mission. But deep inside, Emma felt Tessa's shadow weighing her down, whispering doubts. The memory of Tessa's words echoed. "Naive, path leads to nowhere." It was hard not to flinch under such relentless criticism. Just as the team was riding high on their momentum, the front doors swung open, and in walked Tessa. Her presence felt like an ice wave crashing over them. There was no hiding behind enthusiasm now. "While you're busy playing campfire, the real work is being done, people." Tessa's voice sliced through their concentration. "You'll need more than just a flashy video to convince anyone to take you seriously." Emma felt her heartbeat quicken, adrenaline surging through her veins. "We will prove ourselves through genuine engagement," she shot back, surprising even herself with her confidence. Tessa smirked. "Prove it? The company's head is on the line. You think they'll take your word over results? How about you show them something real, something measurable?" She turned on her heel, clearly expecting to leave them all staring after her in disbelief. But Emma felt a fire ignite within her. "Real results? We'll deliver. We just need to show why this matters." Nathan leaned back, nodding in agreement. "We can create a data report illustrating our anticipated impact. But we need the human stories to back it up." Heart meets numbers. The realization hit Emma like a bolt of lightning. They could marry the emotional resonance they were striving for with solid metrics. The balance was crucial. It wasn't just about changing minds, it was about shifting hearts and proving their worth. In the days that followed, Emma and the team pooled their resources, gathering stories from every department. They chronicled personal journeys and struggles, illuminating the souls behind the numbers. One evening, as they pieced it all together, Emma paused to reflect on how impactful this process had been. She had witnessed first-hand moments of vulnerability, joy, and unity. The office was becoming a family. But as the deadline approached and excitement filled the air, unease crept back, silencing the laughter. How would they connect their findings to the executives? And what if they met with Tessa's skepticism again? Feeling the weight of uncertainty, Emma locked eyes with Nathan. "What if we're not ready? What if it all goes wrong?" He gently took her hand, squeezing it tightly. "You already have the heart of this team. Believe in that. Win or lose, you've sparked something that can't be ignored." But as Emma prepared for the presentation, she knew Tessa wouldn't go down without a fight. She felt the stakes rising. Would they be able to make their vision clear? What if the passion they had gathered wasn't enough to shield them against the inevitable backlash? As they gathered for the final run-through, Emma breathed deeply. "All right team, let us do this. But remember, change doesn't just happen overnight, and the fight isn't over yet." In the whirl of emotions and preparations, a sense of urgency gripped her. The moment of truth was looming ever closer, and all she could do was hope that their hearts would shine through. Could they truly turn the tide? Or would Tessa's storm drown them before they even began? The day of the presentation dawned with an air of tension so thick it felt tangible. Emma arrived early, the fluorescent lights flickering to life as she stepped into the familiar office space. Each step echoed in her mind, reminding her of the journey that brought them here. She could almost hear the quiet hum of the team's excitement from yesterday, but today was different. Today, anticipation weighed heavy. The conference room was set, sleek and cold, an imposing arena where they would lay their dreams bare. As she arranged her notes, Emma's thoughts raced. What if Tessa's words echoed louder than their passion? Would their efforts resonate with those who held the power? Nathan arrived moments later, his face a mask of determination. "We're ready, right?" His voice was steady, but Emma could sense the tremor underneath. "Yeah," she nodded, forcing a smile. "We've got this." Yet, doubt gnawed at her, a persistent whisper that would not let go. The rest of the team filtered in, each one wearing their nervous energy like a badge of honor. They exchanged glances, a silent promise that spoke louder than any words. As the clock edged closer to their time slot, Emma's heart began to race. The door swung open, and in strode Tessa, flanked by the executives. The air grew more electric, the tension palpable. Emma swallowed, her throat dry. "Let us get started," Tessa announced, her tone laced with authority. The room fell silent, anticipation thrumming in the air like a drawn bowstring. Emma took a deep breath, her fingers grazing the presentation remote as Nathan began their introduction. Today, we want to share something that is truly important to us, something that could mold our company into a place of innovation and inclusivity. With that, the lights dimmed, and the first video flickered to life. Faces of colleagues filled the screen, each story unraveling like a thread. Their shared laughter, tears, and aspirations danced before the executives, creating a narrative Emma hoped would bridge the chasm of doubt. As the stories unfolded, she watched the executives shift in their seats, absorbed by the rawness of the emotions that hit home in unexpected ways. But in the back of her mind, Tessa's critical gaze threatened to pull her focus away. Now, here is where our vision aligns with measurable impact, Nathan continued, seamlessly transitioning into the data report. Charts and graphs appeared, presenting their projections with clarity, reaffirming their commitment not just to words, but to action. But just as Emma began to feel confidence bloom inside her, Tessa interrupted, "These are nice stories, truly, however, where's the guarantee? What can you actually promise?" The room fell silent, the tension thickening like fog. Emma felt the rush of blood to her face as she faced Tessa. The frustration bubbled within her. They had poured their hearts into this. But it wouldn't end like this. "Change isn't just about guarantees," Emma responded, surprising even herself with a fierce passion. "It's about believing in the potential of every insert department name, every voice. We're investing in people, building trust and engagement that can't just be measured with numbers." A murmur rippled through the room, and she could see some of the executives shifting, their eyes sparking with intrigue. Maybe she had struck a chord. Tessa's expression hardened, but Emma sensed a flicker of uncertainty. Was there a crack in her armor? As the presentation concluded, applause erupted, breaking through the emotional current that enveloped them. Emma felt a swelling in her heart. They had done it. They had shared their voices, their hopes, their unity. But amid the celebration, a feeling of uncertainty loomed. Would it be enough? Would the executives genuinely see the value in what they had proposed? As they gathered again after the presentation, the team exchanged relieved smiles, but the air was still thick with anticipation. "Whatever happens next, I'm proud of what we accomplished together," Nathan said, looking around the room. Emma nodded, but a question hung in the air: what would Tessa's next move be in light of their challenge? Little did they know that the real fight was just beginning, and Tessa was not one to back down so easily. The conference room buzzed with energy as the team gathered outside. Emma could still feel the echo of her own voice ringing in her ears, the way she had stood up to Tessa, but doubts quickly clouded her excitement. Had she really made an impact, or had she just sparked more resentment? "Let us regroup in my office," Nathan suggested, glancing around at the team. They all followed him, a mix of hope and anxiety draping over their shoulders. Inside, the atmosphere shifted. Chairs were pulled up, and the door closed behind them, sealing off the outside world for a moment. "I think we did well," Nathan began. "For the first time, we laid it all out on the table. We were honest about who we are and what we want." Emma could see some heads nodding in agreement, but others bore uncertainty. "Sure, but we still have no guarantee of support," one team member, Lisa, said quietly, her brow furrowed. "Right. But we have to remember, this was just the start," Emma added, her voice strong despite the butterflies swirling in her stomach. "We've planted a seed. Now we need to water it." Suddenly, the intercom crackled, breaking the moment. "Nathan, Tessa wants to speak with you immediately." Tension gripped Emma's heart. "What do you think she wants?" "If it were good news, they'd call all of us," Lisa remarked, and the room fell silent again as Nathan stepped outside to meet Tessa. They could only hear muffled voices through the door, but Emma felt every word like a punch. She studied her teammates, their faces a blend of excitement and dread. Would they face repercussions for their boldness? Time dragged as they waited. Emma's fingers drummed anxiously against the table. The atmosphere shifted when Nathan finally returned, his face a mix of relief and caution. "She wants to see all of us," he said, his voice steady. "Let us go." The walk back to the conference room felt like a march toward an uncertain destiny. Emma's heart raced again. What would Tessa say? As they entered, Tessa was seated at the head of the long table, arms crossed and expression unreadable. The executives were close behind her, watching with keen eyes. "Sit," Tessa commanded, her tone icy but oddly inviting. "I appreciate the effort you all put into the presentation. However, I still have reservations." Emma felt her heart sink. "Those stories were compelling, but we need results, something tangible." Tessa continued, her gaze landing on Emma. "And I expect you to deliver on this vision you presented. You all seem very passionate, but passion alone won't ensure your project's success." Nathan shifted in his seat, ready to respond, but Emma couldn't help herself. "We understand that, Tessa. It's just," she paused, searching for words. "You saw the potential in us. The stories matter. They aren't just fluff. They're real experiences and emotions driving change." Tessa raised an eyebrow, scrutinizing Emma. "Maybe, but I want more. I expect a detailed strategy by next week, concrete steps with benchmarks you can hit." The team exchanged glances, the pressure growing heavier. Was this her way of extending an olive branch, or was it a warning? "Understood," Nathan replied, firm. "We'll work on that." As they filed out of the room, Emma felt a flicker of hope compete with anxiety. Tessa didn't outright dismiss them. There could still be a chance for dialogue, for actual progress. Once outside, Emma turned to Nathan. "What do you think she really meant?" "I think she's testing us," he said with a sigh. "But if we deliver, we might win her over." Others around them nodded slowly, murmurs of agreement creeping in. Emma's mind raced with ideas. What could they present that would truly win Tessa's approval? As night fell, Emma sat at her desk, staring blankly at her notes. She saw flashes of the video clips, moments of laughter, stories of struggle. Could she weave it all into a strategy that would prove their worth? Just then, a message pinged on her phone from Nathan. "Got a thought. Let's brainstorm first thing in the morning." A wave of excitement surged through her. What if they uncovered something revolutionary? But as she drifted off to sleep that night, one thought haunted her: would Tessa's expectations push them to greatness, or break them apart? The alarm beeped incessantly, pulling Emma back into the reality of the morning. With one eye still glued shut, she reached for her phone, squinting against the bright display. It was 6:30 a.m. She rubbed the sleep from her eyes, but her heart raced as the memory of yesterday's meeting flooded back to her. Nathan's message flashed again in her mind: "Let's brainstorm first thing in the morning." Could their team rally to bring a powerful plan to life? She jumped from bed, adrenaline washing away the remnants of fatigue. Flipping through her closet, she pulled on a crisp white blouse and her favorite navy blazer, her armor for the day ahead. The office buzzed with morning chatter when she arrived. It was the first glimpse of brightness after a long night of anxious thoughts. Nathan was already at the conference table, scribbling notes on a whiteboard, a caffeinated grin spreading across his face. "Hey! You're just in time," he said, waving her over. "I've got a rough outline of ideas we can use to impress Tessa." Emma's nerves eased as she joined him. The rest of the team trickled in, excitement and determination adding electricity to the atmosphere. They huddled around the table, looking like an unpolished gem, eager to shine. "Let's spin those stories into something compelling," Nathan suggested. "Every one of our narratives can tie back to quantifiable goals." Lisa chimed in, her voice full of possibility. "What if we create a timeline? We can highlight the impact we can measure along the way." Emma's mind raced as the ideas bounced back and forth like a ping-pong match. Each suggestion sparked another until they began mapping out their proposal. They worked through lunch and into the afternoon, mugs of coffee refilling as often as their hearts with hope. As they pieced everything together, Emma felt a thrill she hadn't experienced in months. They weren't just resurfacing problems, they were crafting a genuine, actionable plan. It grounded her passion into something real, a tangible opportunity that could sway Tessa. Finally, after hours of collaboration, the structure of their presentation took shape. Emma stepped back and looked at the notes. They had outlined clear objectives, projected outcomes, and metrics to track progress. "What do you think?" she asked the group, her excitement bubbling over. "I love it." Nathan nodded enthusiastically. "With this, we can demonstrate how our passion leads to solid outcomes." Tessa won't just see stories, she'll see the roadmap to success. Just then, the door swung open, and Tessa walked in. The tension in the room thickened as they froze, caught mid-celebration. "Ah, well, looks like you all have been busy," Tessa said, her tone half accusatory, half curious. Emma's heart raced. Had they been too loud? Had they crossed a line? "Actually, we've been working on our proposal," Nathan said, his confidence unwavering. "We're ready to discuss how we can meet your expectations." Tessa's eyes narrowed slightly. "I'll give you 10 minutes. Let us see what you've got." As they all shifted in their seats, adrenaline shot through Emma's veins. This was their moment. "Okay team," Nathan whispered, "let us show her what we're made of." As they began to present, Emma could feel the eyes of Tessa on her, assessing and judging. Would this be their breakthrough or the moment it all crumbled? And just as she opened her mouth to speak, she noticed the faintest glimmer in Tessa's eyes. What if this was the beginning of something bigger? The stakes felt higher than ever now. The presentation unfolded like a dance, each team member playing their part with courage. Emma spoke first, painting a vivid picture of the community they intended to impact. She recalled the stories of families affected by the fire, real people behind the numbers. "These narratives aren't just voices, they're the heart of Innovatech's legacy," she implored, locking eyes with Tessa, hoping to spark whatever flicker of empathy remained within her. Nathan took over, presenting their carefully crafted roadmap, linking passion with quantifiable results. "We have real metrics," he said, sharing projections that showed not only positive community impact but also the potential for increased employee engagement and enhanced company reputation. It was as if they were standing on a precipice, poised for greatness or catastrophe, and the room held its breath. As they wrapped up, the silence felt electric. Tessa leaned back in her chair, arms crossed, a frown creasing her brow. The tension thickened, each second ticking by felt weighty with anticipation. What was she thinking? Would she dismiss this effort just like she had their last? Finally, Tessa spoke. "Your presentation wasn't terrible," her tone begrudgingly measured, causing the team to exchange hesitant glances. "But actionable plans mean nothing without commitment. Do you truly believe you can mobilize the corporation? Can you rally genuine support?" Emma felt a push of adrenaline clarity. "Yes. We've already gathered enthusiasm. Today proved that. It starts with us believing in the change, and whoever wants to join us will see the value. This isn't about following the norm, it's about setting a new standard." Tessa's eyebrow arched, and Emma couldn't tell if she was impressed or irritated. Bold words. "But words don't change corporate cultures," Tessa replied. "Then let us show you," Emma pressed, determination surging within her. "We can host a kickoff event, an open forum where employees can share their ideas on how we can help our community. Lead with compassion, and those who follow will make the difference." The room simmered with an uneasy quiet, and finally, Tessa rose. "You have one chance. But I want specifics, the dollar amounts, the timelines, and the people involved. Prove that your vision is feasible." As Tessa turned to leave, Emma felt a rush of mixed emotions, relief intertwined with anticipation. They had gained a foothold, but the uphill climb was still steep. After Tessa left, cheers erupted in the meeting room, voices overlapping in celebration. "This is it!" Nathan exclaimed, grinning broadly. "We have a chance." Each team member shared exhilarated expressions, the weight of their fear lifting ever so slightly. But Emma's heart thudded hard against her chest as the adrenaline faded. The reality began sinking in. Could they really pull it off? "We must deliver," she murmured, looking around the room. "Our commitment has to be as strong as our passion." Over the next few days, the team's energy was contagious as they poured their hearts into the project. They molded plans and broke down tasks like a well-oiled machine, brainstorming strategies that tapped into everyone's strengths. Emma felt a sincere connection with her colleagues, their shared laughter ringing through the office like music, fueling her spirit. But the specter of Tessa's doubts lingered in the back of her mind, an echo of skepticism that would not easily fade. Emma dug deeper, determined to prove their worth. The community event came together, blossoming under their collective effort, adorned with colorful flyers and badges inscribed with "Together for Change." The day dawned bright and hopeful, the sun shining down as colleagues streamed into the building. The energy buzzed, laced with excitement and a hint of apprehension. Emma and Nathan stood at the entrance, hands clasped, ready to greet everyone. Then, out of nowhere, Tessa appeared. She surveyed the scene like a hawk, and Emma felt her stomach flip. What would she say? Would their hard work be recognized, or would it face her cold scrutiny again? Gathering courage, Emma met Tessa's gaze. "Today's the day we prove that change is possible," she stated, her voice steady. As the forum kicked off, employees shared vibrant stories, each person echoing empathy with one another, warmth flowing around the room. Hearts connected, and Emma felt that familiar spark of hope transforming into a blaze, igniting their purpose. Amidst the crowd, Tessa remained visibly on edge, arms still crossed. Emma could see her weighing everything, her expression unreadable. The fear crept back, whispering questions of doubt. Would Tessa find something to critique amidst the flickering patterns of positivity? Then it happened. A team member shared his experience of losing his home in the very neighborhood they were working to support. Tears glistened in his eyes as he connected with the audience, his vulnerability a mirror to their collective dreams. Suddenly, Tessa spoke up, surprising everyone. "What do you want to see happen here?" As the room exploded with ideas, Emma's heart soared. This was at the beginning of their transformation, not just as a team, but also as a company that truly cared. With each suggestion, Emma felt walls crumble, the spirit of hope finding footholds where none had existed before. She watched Tessa slowly lower her arms, her expression shifting from skepticism to something softer, contemplative. When the forum ended, Emma stood amidst her team, tears of joy glistening in her eyes as she saw Tessa approach. "You all did well today," Tessa said. "I was impressed. A sincere effort was made." And just like that, Emma knew. They had not only started a movement, but they had also transformed lives, starting with their own. As she embraced her team, the warmth of their shared experience radiated within her. This was the change they set out for, and they could feel the winds shifting in their favor. Every step had led to this moment, and together with Nathan and their colleagues, Emma knew they would weather any storm ahead. They'd committed to giving their voices to the voiceless and rekindling hope within their community. As the sun set over San Francisco, Emma smiled knowingly. This wasn't just a victory for them, it was a victory for every family that mattered. And in that final moment of realization, Emma's heart felt full, the weight of a bright future ahead. But even as the joy enveloped her, the lingering thought remained: this was just the beginning. So, as we part ways in this powerful journey, remember to take your stories into the world. Share this transformation where change is possible. You need to subscribe now to witness where this journey takes us. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and spread this message of hope. Comment below with your thoughts, what inspired you today. And don't wait not even one more second, share this experience with at least 5 friends who can spark their change too.